Hey YouTube, getting back to trying to get a video of the Stagecoach Hitch. Haven't been very successful. It's been kind of cold here. It got snowed during the week. But anyway, we'll try it again today. One time I took a video and it didn't save, so got back in the house ready to post it and couldn't find it. So I'll try this again. So here's what the setup looked like several years ago. I believe this is back in the 70s, maybe 80s, not for sure. Probably 80s actually for the look of the black hoods. This is one picture of it. Sorry. Here's another picture of it with the C series. So if you missed the live or wasn't able to view the Facebook live video, couple quick details. I only was able to get the hitch. Went up to Ron Christian, who is a former wheel horse dealer in Frankfort, Illinois. He allowed me to take possession of this hitch. The Stagecoach itself was left out in the weather, unfortunately, but and was destroyed. It was actually built on a four-wheel horse wagon, so it would have been cool. There are still some items that I'm still not 100% sure about on how stuff goes together, but I'm going to do a quick walk around. I kind of did a mock-up a little bit with my 1277 actually, and what I'd hoped to use as one of the tractors, or the hydro tractor, to pull this setup, I don't think will work, simply because well, I'll show you here in a minute. But how this works is there's four tractors, obviously. The back two tractors, and then this tractor on the lead on the left, are all gear drive tractors. The front right tractor, this one here, is a hydro. This tractor is the only one that runs and does all the work for the whole team hitch. It is controlled by this lever right here that from the olden days would have been your brake for your Stagecoach. It actually has a cable that is hooked up, runs down through the middle, loops around, and curls back to a little bracket that is mounted on the tractor that controls the hydro lever. So this is your forward and reverse. Well, actually more forward, because it really doesn't have a reverse per se. The reins actually work. They're hooked to a part that is in the center, and I'll show you here in a minute. That is hooked to each tie rod on the inside of the four tractors. It's just unbelievable how the actual design and engineering went into this, and whoever did this did a fantastic job of engineering it and setting it up. There's just so many intricate little details that it just has to be somebody that knew exactly what was going on and had a clear vision of what they wanted to accomplish. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the actual hitch part. So this would be your back hitch. So what happens is, as you can tell, there are two what appears to be axle brackets that will mount to the back of the back two tractors. Then the hitch here will be hooked to your wagon. So, and then the back two tractors will have this setup, which is hooked to the inside, or the frame on the inner part of the tractor. So these bolts right here will mount to two holes, and I'll show you here in a minute on the tractor. Will mount to two holes on the frame. Then the spindles, or the tie rods on the inside of each tractor, that tie rod is taken off and replaced with a different tie rod, and then this goes through your spindle and hooks to the spindle. I'll show you that as well here in a minute. So then your cable that I was telling you about actually goes through here and is held down with this connection here, and then loops to the front tractor. So that's the back two tractors are hooked up, and then same concept. This actually will hook in this hole right here and will attach the front two tractors to the back two tractors. The front two tractors now have the same hitch type with a little bit different center part. and then they hook, like I said, to the rear axle, similar to an axle bracket for a snowplow, tiller, whatnot. So I had the 1277 sitting here, and as I mentioned, it won't work, unfortunately, just because the one thing, here's the bracket that I'd mentioned. This bracket actually sits right here, and as you can tell, the holes that it's going to mount to are those holes right there where those two bolts are. That's too long on the 1277. So I do have a C125 black hood that I will be using for the lead tractor. Actually, a friend of mine took it and is going to paint it for me. So once this bracket is mounted here, then the cable will attach to your hydro lever, and that's loops around on your seat and then back to the front. Here's that cable. It's pretty cool. I still haven't figured this part out yet, so I'm still a work in process. The cable, that cable actually, when it was attached to the wagon, used like I said, the brake handle to control your forward part. So the front two tractors then are hooked to this for the steering part. So these are your leads, leather leads from, a regular horse. They would hook to here, which is hooked up through this mechanism. Now, how this works is this is hooked to these two holes right here. You have to take the front attach-o-matic off, and then there's two holes, one here and then one back towards the foot pegs bar. So this hooks to those actually, and then it keeps from spinning by hitting your foot peg here. But actually, as I mentioned, this tractor won't work, so it will have the actual floorboard here. So once that is done, and then you hook up your tie rods. I'll try to get this best I can. So this part here will go through where your tie rod is existing now. So you take this tie rod off, you put this tie rod on, and then it bolts into here, screws into here, and then this U part sits right here. It will hook in from the back side and fork into here, and then will connect here through your spindle arm hole where your tie rod is now. I know it's sorry for lack of description, I guess, but that's essentially how it's set up. Then that all is being controlled, from your coach. So as I mentioned, it's a pretty elaborate setup, and will be really cool once it's all hooked up. So what will happen is, when I get the C125 back, I'll put that. I was actually going to do it, and then my buddy came and grabbed the tractor and took it and is going to paint it for me. So I was going to hook up the front tractor and see how it was actually hooking up, and start trying to assemble it. I believe I have enough tractors to do everything. I do. I just was trying to make it look cool. So the rear two tractors will be short frames. Hopefully we'll have my 1045 done, and then 856 will be the back two tractors. The front two tractors, one of them will be the C125 for the hydro, and then my left tractor might be a 1046. I just haven't got that far of feeling out what all I'm going to be using yet. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give a quick rundown or run around of what it looks like, and for those of you that were having questions or curious as to how it all hooked up, that's how it hooks up. Again, I apologize if it's not real clear, but at least you get a general idea how everything's going to be hooked up now. And now I'm just in the process of trying to find a wagon. I thought about building another one, but then it's kind of a funny thing. I've seen a lot of mini horse wagons that would serve a similar purpose, and for what the time and money I would have in building one, I could almost buy a mini horse wagon and use it. So I don't know that it'll be a stagecoach per se, maybe a clapboard wagon, I think is what they call, where it's just a wagon that hauls stuff. And it kind of would be cool if I could get it big enough to put an RJ in. That's, I know, a good ways down the road. But anyway, that's kind of my thought process so far. So, but anyway, that's where we stand. That's where I stand, I guess, and hopefully I can get her hooked up when it gets a little warmer. But I hope to have it all set up at my show in August in Petersburg, Indiana, where it'd be the second all-wheel horse show. If you guys I would like for all that could attend, come out and have a good time. So, but anyway, that's where we stand. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them, and we'll see what we can figure out. Thank you.